Hello friends, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to go over the things you're going to need to start a lawn care business. I found myself in this situation a few years ago, and the way I would have done it I wish was a little bit different. So that's why I'm making this video. That way you can hopefully make the right choices for your business. So here's the main three things you're going to need. These are going to be the biggest expenses you'll make when getting new equipment. Obviously the big one, it's called a lawn mowing business for a reason. You're going to need a lawn mower. Now there's several different types you can get. You could get, big, several $1,000 riding zero-turn mowers, but most of us start small, and we don't got the budget for that when we start off. So something like this, a push mower, even, something smaller like that. This is probably what we're going to start off on. Now, you can get these brand new or used. This mower, brand new, was about $630. Now, that isn't too bad for a mower to start out on. There's probably better options for a little bit more money, but sometimes you might be able to find some secondhand for significantly less. I'm sure you can find one for free, though, but it's going to be very hard to find one. And if it is free, it's probably got issues with it. So I'd go for a lightly used one or a brand new one if you have the money. These are going to set you back anywhere from a few $100s up, $500, $700, $800 for a push mower like this. But it's certainly better than a several $1,000 mower. And you're also going to need a trailer to pull said $1,000 mower. This will go in the bed of a truck, so no trailer needed. Item 2 is going to be a leaf blower. Now, this is a gas unit from Steel, but if you're just starting off and only doing a few, hey, I see nothing wrong with a battery-powered leaf blower. They're significantly cheaper than some of the gas models, and if you're only doing a few yards, then the batteries aren't going to become an issue. Now, the gas models, they start for, a good brand, like Steel or Echo or Husqvarna, Red Max. They're going to start probably around $200 for the entry-level blower for a handheld, and they're going to go all the way up to almost $1,000 for some of the big backpacks. Now, I think if you start off, you really don't need a huge backpack blower. A handheld will do just fine if you're just starting off. This is a Steel BG86. Right now, this retails for $330. It is their highest up handheld blower, but I think their entry-level blower, it's the BG50, is about $180. And you could certainly make that work. Yes, it's not the most powerful. You probably can't do everything with it, so big leaf cleanup's probably not going to work so well. But it will get the job done for just blowing the grass off the sidewalk. A battery unit, I'm not sure on the price of those, but probably $100 to a few hundred. Some of the lower-end models, you could get those cheaper, pretty cheap. So if you don't got the budget for one of these, there are several other options. Item 3 is a string trimmer or weed eater. This is probably the most important in my opinion because, anyone can go mow grass. It's not that hard. Leaf blowing is easy, but trimming is difficult. So I would recommend spending a little bit extra money to getting one that really feels good and has the power that you need it to get the job done. Because this is a multi-purpose tool. A lawnmower, really only going to be mowing grass with it. A leaf blower, blowing off the sidewalks, blowing grass, blowing leaves. This, not only does it cut grass, it also can trim the sidewalks. You could use it as a way to trim bushes. I wouldn't recommend it though. But it's an edger and it's a device to cut grass. So it better work good for you and it better feel good in your hands. If you don't have one that feels good, shop around for one, take some time, feel a bunch of different models, see how it feels, how the weight is, and the price, of course, and buy the best one for you. I go for the best one you can afford. It's going to be expensive at first, but you're not going to regret it. I mean, this was $400 gone from my bank account, but I'm glad I did it over that. And I think if you spend a little bit extra money on this too, you'll be so much happier with yourself. It's going to feel so much better, and your productivity is going to go way up. Now, the price on these, a homeowner unit, like the FS56, I believe that's about $250 for an entry-level straight shaft, or, the Echo 225, those are good models, and, even though they're homeowner grade, they still hold up pretty good during commercial use, and they have enough power to get the job done. Now, some of the higher up models like this 70 or the 91 or the Echo 2620, those are going to be in like the $350 to $400 range. What you're getting for that extra money is commercial duty and also more creature comforts. This also goes to all the other units. The more you spend, generally, the better quality and the more comfortable the machine is. There's going to be more anti-vibration associated in the handle design. Rubber, compared to bare plastic. It's these little things that make the difference. Battery units, I'm not sure on the price, but $100 maybe, like that one there. I'm sure that isn't that much, hey, but if you got a few yards, that could certainly work. All right, these are the big three, but you're going to need some other tools too. And these are the things that go along with it, right? Of course, you're going to need trimmer line to go with the trimmer. This is going to be about, this was about $20, but if you get a big roll, which if you're doing a lot of yards, I'd recommend because it's cheaper per foot if you buy it in bulk. These are expendables. You're going to go through this. This is a recurring price. that you're going to have to keep paying when this runs out. It's a business expense that you're going to need to do. You're going to need 2-stroke oil, and I should have up your 4-stroke oil as well. It is important to maintain your equipment. Use good oil. Change the oil in your mowers every 50 to 100 hours, what the manufacturer says. No harm in doing it early, but you're going to need some oil. Now, a file, bare minimum, sharpen those blades. Helps with cut quality, makes your yards look better, and it's not going to be as slow. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you could get an angle grinder. This is a super cheap one I got at the hardware store. It was 20 bucks. Works really good. I believe this was 7, but if budget is tight, you can get away with a file. This works. There's nothing wrong with it. It just is going to take longer than if you use a tool like this, an angle grinder. All right, probably the most important things that you're going to need is your PPE. Never mow grass without bare minimum of safety glasses and hearing protection. Especially if you don't have this, I'm sorry, you're just a big fat dumb idiot. I mean, the amount of times that I've been hit in the safety glasses when I'm trimming grass is kind of crazy. And if I didn't have these, I would probably be blind in my eye. Probably both eyes. If you say, oh, it's not a big risk, that's not going to happen. It is going to happen, okay? You need to get yourself a good set of safety glasses. Spend the extra money. They're like rubber padded on the part with the ear so it's comfortable, and they're tinted. So they protect your eyes from the sun when the sun's real bright out in the summer. They're like sunglasses, and you can see there's some witness marks there. Right there. That's from a rock. All right? Get yourself a good set of safety glasses. Definitely spend some more money on those. Now, hearing protection, you can get the over-ear style, or you can get just the plugs. I personally like these ones a little bit better, like the over-ear ones. They just feel a little bit better, and I don't want to have to deal with gross earplugs rattling around with like earwax on it. That's just a little gross. Nasty in my opinion. So I like these ones. They do get, if you get sweaty, these do, they'll slide a little bit, but a good set, it should still clamp onto your ears fairly good. And gloves, now you don't have to have gloves, but I would definitely recommend them, especially in the summertime. I have sweaty hands, so trying to hold on to the equipment, especially the trimmer, with sweaty hands is going to be difficult. So leather gloves, you're not going to have issues with your hands slipping, and they protect your hands from sharp objects. These gloves I just bought at Menards, they have a leather face here, but then they have a breathable material on the back, so my hands don't get super hot. I'd get a good set of quality gloves that feel good in your hands and are also flexible. All leather gloves are good, they're tough, but they get hot in the summertime, so one with a breathable backing, definitely a good idea. Now, prices for these, that's $40. You don't need, Sabre if you don't want to. There's plenty of other good oils. This is one of the best 2-stroke oils, but definitely not a bad thing to go on. Get good oil, run it at 50 to 1, you're not going to have any problems. Gloves, these were about $15. Good set of gloves. I think these were about $30. I'm unsure on the price of these. And I would also recommend getting a hat because, especially on the back of your neck, you can get sunburned pretty bad, and you don't want that. It's not going to feel good being out in the sun. If you want a hat to shade yourself, get a good hat. These are probably 20, 30 bucks on Amazon. The other thing you're going to need is gas. Gas prices are crazy these days. Now, I'd recommend getting at least 89 octane gas for all your equipment. Everything will run on 87, but, when it's 100 degrees outside, and the mowers and everything, they're all air-cooled engines, they run hot. It just makes me feel a little bit safer to use an 89 or higher octane. I personally run 91 and everything. I'm willing to spend a little bit extra at the pump for it just for my personal feeling better about not having any knock or spark ignition. That's not the right term. Spark knocking during engine operation. And in the 2-stroke gas, definitely 89 or higher. They run hotter, they rev higher. Yes, they have lower compression ratios, but the oil lowers the octane. Right? And make sure it's ethanol-free. That will make your equipment last so much longer. Go out of your way to get ethanol-free fuel. If your fuel stations don't have ethanol-free near you, you may want to consider learning how to take out the ethanol. There's methods to remove ethanol from fuel. It is a bit difficult in large quantities, but if you really want to protect the life of your equipment, I'd recommend doing that. So hopefully I gave you a little insight on how much it's going to cost to start a lawn care business. If I can do some mental math here, let's say a new mower is $500. You buy an entry-level leaf blower string trimmer, round up, let's call it $200. Let's call that $250. $700, $950, $20, $970, round up, call it $10, $980. These are probably $20,000, $20,020, hat $30, $1,050, gloves $15, $1,065, Sabre, you don't have to, but that was $40, so $1,105, gas. 89 octane gas in my region. It's like $3.20 a gallon. I'm just going to call it 3 for math purposes, but these are 2 gallon cans, so $3 a gallon plus 4 gallons is $12. So I'm gonna call it 10, 11, 15, plus your two-stroke gas, another $3, 11, 18. Ish. All right, these are big issues, not plus tax, not plus anything. So all this here could potentially be yours and your business for only $1,115. Excuse me, 18. So it all sounds like a lot of money, but you can certainly work it off, or pay it off. And these are that is considering brand new equipment. You can certainly look secondhand, and there's no issue doing so to find it cheaper if the budget is tight. However, I would recommend buying new, especially if you don't know how it was treated. I would hate for you to buy a used machine and have issues with it and have to spend money on it, and now you don't have it. It's in the shop for a month. It's just better to buy new to have less worries about it. Anyway, friends, hopefully I gave you a little bit of advice on kind of how much it costs to start a lawn care business. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully this advice helped you. So anyway, friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.